And welcome everybody to another edition of the Heel Heat with main event B Uso Benny and still reigning, defending, undisputed Jay
Douche.
Quan.
Make sure you understand. You know and understand.
Is that a better intro from the other night?
Yes. Yes. I want a little more enthusiasm, but that works for right now.
Hey man,
I
I don't
was
want to yell into the mic, man. I'm just
Listen.
Jay about to go
Ooh,
full
that's a
Shane
nice
McMahon
suit.
on us, yo.
and then there's just me. It's me, Paulinho. Welcome back, everybody. This is the WrestleMania preview predictions for night one. We'll have night two afterwards as well. And if you haven't heard to our NXT Takeover Stand Deliver predictions for night 1 and 2, please go back and listen to that or watch it if you're on YouTube. It was fun recording it. We had a lot of fun, and let's get started with WrestleMania night 1. So the card on night 1 is one of those where I'm like, it's one of those like pay-per-views where it's like it seems like it's bad, but there's a slight chance, like a small chance on the outside. There's a couple matches that could save it and make it decent, if not good. But this is Vince writing this all out, so I'm not holding my breath.
That's really the thing about this is they've done such a terrible build. It's one of those things where it's like it's such a terrible build that it's like, do I really want to watch this? Like, I know I have to, but do I really want to watch this? That's where I'm at with it.
Right.
It's like, oh God.
I don't know, man. This has honestly been one of the weakest builds going into WrestleMania that I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes going into last year's WrestleMania, which we were dealing with a pandemic and no fans and empty arenas before they figured out the Thunderdome and everything like that, where people were wrestling to silence and Michael Cole. Like, that was it. But this has just been this has been a sham as far as the build goes, and it's a disservice to the people that are involved. Like, you look at the main event for night 1, that's Sasha and Bianca. That story could have told itself. But all of the stuff that they've done in it, I don't understand how it is that you take a feud or a potential match that just on paper legitimately looks like volcano heat between the two of them, and you cool it off. I don't understand it, but
by making them be friends.
Yeah,
and it was the dumbest thing. And
how are they going to coexist?
And then the way they made it come through was like horrible. It's like Sasha has was it Shayna had her in the crossface, and then you have Nia pushing Bianca into her, and then Sasha goes to her like, "Hey, what's your problems tonight?" I'm like,
I hated it. You were looking
like the worst thing. Like, you could have done
looking right at them.
Yeah, you could have done it from behind. Like, if it came from behind, it would have made more sense. Because they were like,
and
oh,
even
well,
then,
shit,
it would have been stupid.
It would have been, but at least she could have been like, hey, I got pushed. Or no, you came into me for what reason? I had it.
They could have just had Sasha be the boss and just hit her with a backstabber. Like, nah, I don't work with rookies. That's it. It's something that simple would have made it so much better of a build.
There are so many ways they could have gone around that. But let's go to this card and let's go back to this. Let's circle around this when we get to that main card.
You're gonna do
the main event
Friday first, right?
Well, Friday. Here's the thing about Friday. All we know right now is 2 matches.
I think that's all they're doing as far as the Mania stuff.
Yeah,
I think everything else was just lead up.
So we'll add those 2 right now to tonight. So we got the Andre the Giant, and we got the was it triple or 4? I can't remember now. I gotta look it up.
Quad. It's 4.
It's a quad.
It's Alpha Academy, Street Profits, Dirty Dogs, and the Mysterios.
Okay. So, what do you guys think on that match?
Which one?
The tag team match.
Out of absolutely nowhere, the Mysterios. Because everything,
I get that feeling too. Like I feel like it's one of those where it's like
everything is pointing towards Alpha Academy winning this, but something is telling me that the Mysterios are going to win it just out of the fact that it's Ray and Dominic, and how much better can you get as far as like a title that you don't care about than a father and son winning the tag team championships together.
The first time ever, by the way.
Yeah.
For the first time ever. First time in history.
So yeah, I got the Mysterios. I would love the Street Profits to get their belts back, but
they're gonna keep them off the tag belts for a little bit, at least until they can get the Usos back.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what this is about. They need to take it off of them so that they can get the Usos back.
Mm-hmm. I think it's more on that writer not being there no more, and they got to find somebody that can write just like him or similar to him to keep their promos up and going. So I agree. They're not going to win this one, and I think they're going to go for this lackluster promo of a first time ever father-son tag team champions. Mm-hmm. Do it while you can.
Not to mention you have the built-in follow-up feud with Alpha Academy, which means you can take Dolph, you can take Rude, and you can throw them in there sporadically. But you can get the belts, you can get it off that feud with the Street Profits.
Not only that, you can set up the potential breakup of the Mysterios with that same thing, because once they lose the tag team championships, it turns into Dominic being like, Dad, we could have won, we could have kept us going, but it was your fault. And then they can finally break it off, and he goes all by himself.
I mean, I hate to be that guy, but I'm gonna put it this way: there are a lot of wrestlers that can wrestle undersized. Mm-hmm. Somebody needs to get Dominic a protein shake, and this man needs to be hitting the gym 3 times a week.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it doesn't make any sense for you to be like Austin Theory's 23, right? Liv Morgan is like 24 or some change. The kid they just bought in is 19. Dominic should not be that skinny at 19, being on the main roster. And that's the biggest thing. If he was at NXT, I wouldn't care. Because it's like, you're developed, but you're on the main roster. Like, fam. And it's like, you can tell he's supposed to get bigger. Like, it's not even like his size. Like, you looking at him, he's just naturally skinny, like Leo Ruff skinny. He's like,
I got some bad news
slim,
for you. I'll make it worse.
But like, he still has to grow into his body, and I get it. But like, bruh, you got to eat your Wheaties. You got to get a little bit bigger. You got to drink some protein shakes, something.
I'll make it worse. He's actually 24.
He's what?
He's 24 years old.
I thought he was 19.
No, it's okay. He's got that baby face, bro.
Bro, he's got to hit the weights.
Here's what I don't get, because of the fact he played football in high school.
Well, here's the other thing. Here's the other thing about main roster WWE.
Yeah, he played football in high school.
It shouldn't be that big of an issue right now because they're in one centralized location, and until COVID starts to, back down to a point where they can actually start traveling again, they're going to be in one central location. But you can see it in everybody on the main roster. When Ray came back and he was in the Royal Rumble and he was absolutely jacked, he started to lose his mass, not even his mass, his definition. Because he just couldn't be in the gym as much because of the fact that they were just they're producing so much content.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's when a wrestler takes time off and then he comes back and he looks jacked. It's because they had the time to go to the gym. But once they're back on the road and doing all the shows, it's hard to maintain it. I give credit to a lot of those that maintain it, but it's difficult because you're working out. You're trying to work out, but then you're hurt, you're sore here and there, and so you can't work out every part that you want to work out. So it's like it makes it difficult,
Hell, look at that post Alexa Bliss put up not too long ago when she was talking about how she takes a picture in the gym and Buddy Murphy hits her up and asks her, "Is she actually working out?"
Yeah,
and she responds, "It's about 50-50."
Yeah,
that was funny. That it's good to see those two still have a good working relationship though. Because I heard the breakup was not great.
Well,
But I mean, again, that just makes me worry about Dominic because once they hit the road, like with as small as he is, like it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when he gets hurt.
Yeah, but it also is a matter of how many shows they're gonna do. Like before, it was like a show every night.
Yeah.
And this time around, it might not be that much because of the fact that, like right now, speaking right now, the Texas Rangers, they're the first one to open the stadium at 100%. You know, so everybody is keeping an eye and see how that works out. And of course, Texas said they open up everything. So we'll see how everything else works out. And again, it might fall into that place is, you know, Vince and WWE might not go into every state because depending on like what the regulations are for each state, they'll go into Texas, no issues. It's like, oh yeah, 100%, we'll take that, you know.
They're gonna take the check.
Yeah, and I don't blame them because they're gonna have to get the money back. It's a business.
Yeah, they have to recoup. Even though what's funny is they made money, so it's not even like they lost money. They didn't lose money this last year in 2020.
I mean, they were making money without the Peacock deal.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Like I can't sit up here and say like they're gonna maximize the money because it's like it's not like y'all lost money. Y'all didn't lose money.
They're gonna do it
anyway. They're gonna do it anyway. But that's not an excuse.
No, yeah, they just didn't earn the amount of money they thought they were going to because of the road shows. You know, because they were still selling merch. They still had the TV deals. Well, they had the USA Network, Fox, USA had both of them. Then they got now they have they had the ESPN deal for WrestleMania too at one point for the shows.
Yeah.
Now they got the Peacock deal.
Once NBC went through that ESPN mess went completely away.
Oh yeah, they were annoyed because they were trying to get that.
ESPN was pissed. They were trying to get it.
Yeah, because they felt that they were being used as leverage. You know,
which they probably were.
They probably were too as well. I agree. But let's go back to this one. All right, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. The one thing that has a good name to it, but has no meaning behind it. You know what I mean? Like this thing has a great meaning, Andre the Giant, but there's no meaning to the winner. What does the winner get?
Nothing.
Exactly.
They get a trophy.
He gets a trophy that I think they take and put back in storage for next year afterwards.
Most likely. But it's just annoying because you had Seth Rollins, no, not Seth Rollins, Baron Corbin, Mojo, and Mojo. When Mojo won it, he was supposed to get a push.
Cesaro
is another one, and it's annoying. You have these guys that we want to have a push, win it, thinking they're gonna get a push, and they didn't get a push. You know, it just sucks. So now this year, I don't know who's gonna win it because it's like I want certain people to win it, but then it's like it's gonna look good on paper, and that's it.
I got two particular ideas about who's actually gonna win it. Specifically because I don't think there's anybody from the Tampa area in the Battle Royal because that's generally how they do it.
Yeah.
So you remember a couple of years ago when it was in MetLife, they made sure that Carmella won because MetLife, New York City, all of that nonsense or whatever. But this year, I'm looking at this possibly two people. There's Jey Uso and Shinsuke Nakamura. Those are the two people that I'm looking at. And just out of fantasy booking, this isn't anything that I'm thinking that they're actually going to do, but this is just me and my own fantasy booking just to continue something that's happening. Jey Uso, I don't believe, has won a match since November. And I think they're going to continue that.
Who?
Jey Uso.
Oh.
I don't believe he's won a match since November.
Man,
so what I'm going to say is that Shinsuke, he gets down to the final two, him and Shinsuke eliminates him. And I got Nakamura winning.
You got Nakamura winning?
Yep.
I'm actually going to go with Jey Uso on this one. Just because...
That's my thing. Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
It's tough because him winning anything completely kind of goes against how they're booking him right now. That's the only problem. But Shinsuke makes sense. King Corbin makes sense. I think Mustafa Ali's in this match, so he would make sense. Someone from the team formerly known as Retribution would make sense. Heck, Cedric Alexander or Shelton Benjamin would make sense. So I mean, but who stands to gain the most here? Even though this usually leads to absolutely nothing, so it's kind of irrelevant. Actually, no, I'm gonna change my answer. Shinsuke actually does make probably the most sense in this group. Because Jay winning doesn't mean anything, but it means something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it'll just be a better story if Jay ends up losing to Shinsuke, quote unquote. Or Shinsuke ends up eliminating him in the end. So I'm probably going to go with Shin. Actually, do they have a list of who's in the match?
The list I have so far says Akira Tozawa, Angel Garza, Cedric Alexander, Drew Gulak, Elias, Eric. Wait, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ivar still hasn't come back yet.
Oh, that's right. Fuck. All right.
That's another tag team that's not in play right now.
And he got hurt too, so he's coming back from injury.
Yeah.
So Grand Metalik
and paternity leave, actually. Paternity leave.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Logan.
Yep. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson Riker, Jey Uso, Kalisto, King Corbin, Lindsay Dorado, Mace, Murphy, Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, Shelton Benjamin, Shinsuke Nakamura, Slapjack, T-Bar, and Tucker. Oh, Tucker's in this one. Tucky. Tucky.
I really want Murphy to win this. Like my heart wants Murphy to win it.
But you got Jay?
Because it's irrelevant, and I know it's not going to do anything for him. I just want Murphy to win it, and I want him to call out Aleister Black for an impromptu match. Personally, I would absolutely love that.
So who are you taking on this one again?
I'm taking Shinsuke.
Okay. That was one I wanted to. I was looking at the list. I'm like, Shinsuke kind of pops out for me, but it feels like it's the obvious one. And I need to make up points in this one too. So I'm torn between King Corbin and
do you think they would have him win it twice?
Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out,
just because it doesn't matter.
I'm looking at possibly them doing something, an angle with Retribution.
I was thinking that too.
Like Mustafa Ali is in there with Mace and T-Bar, and then they hey, let's do this, and they get down towards the end, or if they're not at the end already, and they one of them throws out Mustafa Ali. But I'm trying to figure out if it's gonna be Mace or T-Bar. I'm leaning more towards T-Bar.
Only because of the fact that you can push him as a single star as long as they give him his name back.
Yeah,
give that man his name back.
And that's what I'm looking at as well, because it's Dominic. Let's be honest, Dominic Dijakovic can put on some bangers. Yeah, so that's
Dominic Dijakovic is automatically a mid card championship caliber opponent for anyone from either side.
Yeah. So I'm like torn between King Corbin and T-Bar. And like you said, are they really going to make King Corbin a 2-time winner? And that's the question. Will they? That's
why Shin makes sense to me. But honestly, I'm willing to take the L on this one.
I kind of want to go with T-Bar because if they're doing because of this, but the thing is, they need to start making the split be more finalized, and like kind of this could solidify the split. And like you said, T-Bar goes like, no, I am now Dominic. My name is Dominic Dijakovic or whatever, you know. And same thing with Mace, and same thing with Slapjack, and take their mask off in front of everybody. So I'm going with T-Bar. I'm just gonna. I need points. I need points on the packages.
Like I said, I understand you need points, but you taking a left field pick like that is risky.
I know.
You know what I'm thinking when it comes to them though. I would say that T-Bar would be a good pick, except for the fact that when they did break Retribution up, they made sure to have T-Bar and Mace be the ones to attack Mustafa Ali.
So it feels like those guys are going to be a tag team.
Exactly. I feel
Feels
that
like
that's
those
where
guys are
that
gonna be a
mess is
tag
coming.
team.
I got a
Yeah.
feeling that Slapjack is going to disappear for a while after this
Of course.
and
And
come
he's gonna
back
show back
as
up at NXT.
Oh yeah.
come back as Shane Thorne wherever he actually shows up. Same thing with Mia Yim. Because I refuse to call her by her name.
I wonder if Mia Yim goes back to NXT. That's the question I want to know.
feel like she should. I feel like she really
So do
should
I.
because I feel like that women's division is loaded, yes, but it's also like we talked about. It's also in like a bit of a weird space, especially with EO as the person, as the champion right now.
And the thing is, I feel if they swap, Mia Yim goes back down to NXT and EO comes up, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because right now, if Mia Yim stays there and tries to rebuild herself, it's going to be a tough task with that group. EO,
I agree.
At least you can do something with EO though.
And if the way breaks up, you'll have a built-in feud for Candice LeRae.
Yeah, I remember that. Because NXT is better with continuity than WWE main roster.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's go to the main card. Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. Benny?
This is definitely going to be match of the night. Definitely be match of the night.
Jay took the words right out of my mouth. I'm not even going to say match of the night. I'm going to say match of the actual weekend. I think
that's tough. That's tough with those NXT matchups. That's tough.
No, I ain't talking about NXT.
No. He's talking just
that's
Mania.
A part of the whole thing.
I'm talking about WrestleMania.
Weekend.
WrestleMania. Match of WrestleMania.
Okay. Yeah, it might be. It might be.
It'll be a contender. I'll give you that.
I just don't see, as much as everybody in their hearts wants to see it, I don't see how Cesaro wins this match, and they can make it make sense. That's the biggest thing. Seth winning makes sense because it's his first major feud since the return, and it sows the seed of Cesaro actually joining Seth down the road. So I'm gonna go with Seth Rollins here, even though I wouldn't be mad to take the L on this one if Cesaro won. But the problem with Cesaro winning is they're not going to push him, and Cesaro only re-signed to put over talent. So it's going to be a great match, but he's only there to put Seth over in his return. You know it, I know it, the world knows it. It's an unfortunate thing. Cesaro's been doing some of the best work I've seen for his career. But it is what it is. Like it is what it is. So I'm gonna go with Seth.
All right. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to agree on that one. However, I am gonna put a couple of things out there. One is that you are gonna get a replay of what is, I believe it was WrestleMania 31, where we had the stomp get reversed into the RKO, where he propelled them up in the air with it. I have a feeling we're going to get that with an uppercut.
Yeah.
Oh, that was going to be epic.
Yes.
We need that. I need that. I need that in my life. And the other thing, because of the fact that, once again, just like everything else in this card, they have screwed up the build, and they have decided to make this feud all about Seth Rollins being swung. Seth Rollins is going to get swung at least 50 times.
A record amount of times. Yep.
Yes. But that being said, I don't see them going anywhere with Cesaro. Even like if they were to have him go over Seth, I don't see it going anywhere. At the absolute most, we're talking about him showing up as a potential challenger for the IC title at some point. But even then, I'm just like, I wouldn't see it happening, because even if he got put into that position, he would be put in there to put over whoever that champion is at that time. So I got to go with Seth Rollins. I was hoping that they were going to bring Rollins back as a face so that later on they could push him and have him in the situation to go after Roman Reigns at some point. But like I said, I see that being more likely, him going after Reigns, even though it is heel versus heel, more likely than Cesaro being put in any position to be pushed at the moment.
I agree.
Yeah, I doubt it.
I agree.
Because on the last Talking Smack when Seth was on the show, he's like, "Hey, Paul, give Roman my regards, the tribal chief, and all that stuff." Like he was like praising him all that stuff. So I doubt anything like that's gonna happen anytime soon at all. Maybe if heel versus heel on that point. But I agree. I also picked Seth Rollins on this one because as good as Cesaro is, I still don't get why they won't. Well, no, I get why they won't push him because he doesn't have the charisma or something that they want. But he's so talented. That man is so good. You can pair him up with anybody, and you're gonna get a match, a good match.
Like I said,
You know,
to
at
me,
least.
I was gonna say is the one thing you can do with him to salvage whatever you want to salvage is send him to NXT UK, and I'm gonna bang that table and I'm gonna ride that train until either he retires or NXT UK goes away or something.
You can send him there,
NXT UK,
and I think he'll do much better. He'll do much better over there because over there is completely different. It's not as heavy with the charisma that they need over here. You know, and that's okay. Each area is different.
Cesaro versus Walter. Cesaro versus Thatcher. Give me all of that.
Cesaro versus Dragunov. Ooh. Cesaro versus Dragunov. That's all I'm saying. Ooh, boy. Hey, give me Cesaro versus Pete Dunne. Give me that. Give me that.
Yeah. There's a lot of possibilities if he goes to NXT UK though. There's a lot, and you get some good matches, bangers. And even if he goes to NXT, regular NXT.
Nah, it's too convoluted right now.
No. Even if he goes down there and he just has matches, not even chasing anything.
Yeah, but at some point they're gonna want him to chase something. That's why I'm like, I don't like that because he's gonna be too prominent of a position where it's like, no, he has to chase something. And even if you give him the North American title, it's like you really gonna give Cesaro the North American title? Really?
I'm gonna say the only way you would get away with that is if Cesaro was on some John Cena US champion type thing, where he was just calling out people like week after week challenge.
Man, they just need to give him the title, like either US title or IC title, and just like you said, do the John Cena Open Challenge.
The only title that makes sense for right now is a US title because they're doing actually some good stuff with the IC title, and they have to keep Big E. They have to slow build Big E. And that's the biggest thing about that IC title. And I'm like, you can't take the IC title of Big E right now.
No, you can't. You can't. He's having a good run with that right now as it is. Him and Apollo Crews are doing really good. I mean, granted, I don't like the accent, but
they tipping his hand already.
Yeah.
But
you talking about me?
Yeah. So you tipping your hand already?
No, I'm not actually. I'm not at all.
So let's get back on track here. Let me take it back on track here. All right. So next one we're looking at is what I would say is
did you give your
Seth Rollins
prediction also?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Seth Rollins. There's as much as I would love to say Cesaro, it just even if you won it, for what reason? It would make no sense unless you do
as Cardi B says, what's the reason? What's the reason?
I mean, because they're not going to have them put him in a long feud, these two. I don't think so. No. So the next one, which I think is a palate cleanser, Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon.
Oh, I thought we were talking about a match.
Steel cage.
Inside a steel cage on top of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So who won? We already know this match is billed for Shane McMahon to do his big WrestleMania spot. We know this.
Oh, he's gonna repeat that dive, that elbow dive. Yeah. He did it before already. That when he jumped before he slimed Strowman. So he's like preparing us. He's like does the whole like stands there, does a little cross thing, and he just like jumps off with his elbow. Like,
yeah,
I hope Braun Strowman literally clotheslines him out the air. I hope Braun Strowman clotheslines him out the air.
If he catches him, catches him in midair and like power bombs onto the table or something, that would be great.
That'd be, or like if he catches him, like snatches him out the air and like power slams him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
absolute murder where it's like, yo, is Shane McMahon actually dead?
Yeah.
Like, did someone finally murder Shane McMahon?
Can you wiggle your toes for me, please? Just wiggle your toes.
You just gonna see Shane McMahon like this. Just... that dumb face he does where he's just...
with eyes all like popping out.
That being said, Braun Strowman. If they have Shane McMahon go over Braun Strowman, you know Vince has officially has Alzheimer's, and he may have dementia. Like he's no longer fit to lead. Him and Donald Trump need to go in their retirement homes together. He's no longer fit to lead. If Shane McMahon goes over Braun Strowman,
Benny,
I got a surprise for you.
Oh my God!
I got Shane McMahon. And you know what? You know why I have Shane McMahon?
Because you think Vince has dementia.
Well, that's part of it, but that wasn't the reason why I was thinking. I think you're going to have a couple of things come into play here. One is both of the ideas that this thing has been built around. The first is that Shane McMahon has quote unquote nowhere to run in this feud. All right. So obviously that tells me that the majority of this is going to be Shane trying to get out of the cage some way. All right. The other thing is the quote unquote Braun is stupid. All right. It burned me 2 years ago when we did this with The Miz, and I thought that they were going to set up here and actually just end this feud there. I think they're going to keep it going after this.
Oh, God.
And I'm going to hate it. But I got a feeling that you're going to get a replay. Paul, you know exactly where I'm going when I say St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Braun is going to throw Shane through the cage. And he's going to hit the floor, and he's going to win that way.
Yeah.
I hate
so
that.
like I said, I got Shane McMahon winning this one.
I hate it. And damn it,
I hate it too.
I have a feeling you might be onto something too. That's the worst part. That's the worst part.
It sounds so plausible. It's so crazy that it sounds like it could definitely happen.
Yeah. Because I'm like, Benny, you're making so many good points. And the thing is, Vince McMahon is capable of doing this as well too.
Yeah.
You know they watch us, so
oh. I can see Shane winning this. Like I want Braun to win this, but I can see Shane win this because of the same crap that happened to Miz. Mm-hmm. And Benny, I think we both picked the Miz in that one too. The Miz should have won that match. Because here's the worst part. Shane wins, and what happens after that? Nothing.
He kept winning. That was the problem. They never actually gave him his comeuppance. Miz never got his win back.
That's what I'm saying. They did nothing. Also, he lost, and then what? And then the feud just died out. It just went away. And the same thing's gonna happen here.
Ironically, that's actually the match that's on right now.
And he's in
a handicap match with Jackson Riker and Elias.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say too. I was like, that's the other thing it's a common here as well. Jackson Riker and Elias. They've been involved in this whole thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get involved in the steel cage match as well somehow.
True.
If they unlock the door and get in or do something.
The other thing, all right, they're not. You can't actually do it right now because of the fact that it's a cage match. But I was waiting for the choo-choo train thing in front of live fans. So I can see the only way they're actually going to do that is if it's in the ring. And
here's one thing.
He'll pounce Shane like Keith Lee does.
I'm surprised because didn't they outlaw that flying headbutt off the top rope?
Yes.
Jackson
the last person to do it. Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Tony Storm did it too a couple of at War Games.
Yeah.
So I guess it's selected, like they do it for certain people. That is so corny.
This whole thing is corny, bro. So
that's so corny.
They're building. I get what they're doing. They're building him to be as strong and all that stuff, and then make it like Shane's not going to win this, but we know it's going to happen. It's just an okie doke.
Yeah.
Shane's going to pull this win, and I think they're still going to have the choo-choo round. Excuse me, because I don't think this is. I think they're going to have the area around the ring to run around. because they want that choo-choo sound. As funny and as dumb as it is.
Either that, or it's going to happen after the match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know what the point is of the whole choo-choo sound. It makes no sense why they even had that thing there.
So merch.
Yeah. And Braun just beat 2 guys.
And because, leg slaps are bad.
All right.
So
who colored John Morrison in with orange?
I got Shane.
I'm still gonna go with Braun.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. We're okay with that. And then we
I
got
know y'all are.
Yeah. The next match is for the Raw tag team titles. The New Day versus AJ Styles and Omos. This one, the buildup has been funny.
I'm gonna let Benny go first.
The buildup has been
about
funny.
To do this to a Bugatti. Sorry, I'm also watching Raw.
Yeah. Yo, you didn't see Bad Bunny pulling in Bugatti.
Nice.
Bad Bunny, Damian Priest, a white one.
And it's a white Bugatti.
Yeah, a white Bugatti. It's real nice.
Oh my god.
But I was gonna say, I like the build. It's funny, and they've been cracking in on jokes and everything, trying to show that AJ and Omos are not a team. So it makes me wonder: are they gonna break those two up? So that's something to look at. Benny, I'm gonna let you go off with this one. I'm still trying to figure this one out myself.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure this one out. I've been playing that mind game for like I don't know how many days now.
Uh-huh.
Going over this myself.
I honestly, I don't think that there's any chance that the New Day win this. I think it's going to be a really good match. It's going to be mostly focused on New Day versus AJ in order to, basically protect Omos and just have him be the monster of the match. But you know how Vince is with his big, tall people, right? They're unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
They're booked to be unstoppable, regardless of what skill level is and everything like that. And I'm not trying to slander Omos, but for the last thing I heard, which granted was a couple of months ago, but he was really raw. So they paired him up with AJ so that he would have somebody to quote unquote protect him in matches and things like that. So honestly, this to me is going to be AJ taking all of the heat for the most of the match. And then Omos coming in and basically putting a New Day down by himself. And then they can play off the exact same way you do the Raquel and Dakota thing down in NXT. Whereas AJ is portrayed to be the weak link of the team and everything, and which is weird because he's AJ freaking Styles. But I honestly think that's how it's going to happen. So I got AJ and Omos winning. Besides, the New Day are untouchable. Like, you can beat them however many times you want. New Day is always going to be hot.
That is true. That is true. Jay?
I'm going to steal a very, very often used concept that Benny has, which is the, I don't remember what you called it, but the last 2 weeks, the New Day have stood tall at the end of any altercation, including tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Which tells me Omos and AJ are going to win at WrestleMania. That's literally my only reason. It's because the New Day have actually stood tall the last 2 nights. I mean, the last 2 meetings they've had in the last 2 weeks. So that's it. This to me is a palate cleanser match. Honestly.
I'm gonna be honest with you. When it comes to the builds and everything, this is probably the best built match that you had the entire weekend.
That's what I'm saying.
Because again, you don't have to touch these. You're gonna tell AJ Styles how to do this.
You don't need to tell any of them how to do this.
You're gonna tell Omos, hey, I need you to talk. He's actually done pretty well.
Yeah,
for what he is. He's actually funny when he's not trying. But again, it's a writer like, hey, you guys are gonna go have a feud. You're going to put them over for the tag titles. Okay. Cool. That meeting is 5 minutes long.
Yep.
Cool. Not to mention, Xavier Woods gets a rub with AJ Styles.
Yep.
Heading into what could possibly be, don't know if it's true, but possibly, I still have my hopes up. King of the Ring season.
I would love it. I would love it. Oh, and the other thing, Kofi Kingston, granted, it's not a clean victory because Xavier Woods did get involved, albeit him not touching AJ. He has a clean pin over AJ Styles recently.
Tonight, Xavier Woods got a clean pin over AJ Styles too.
Yep, there you go.
Two clean pins.
New Day is getting their build up right now so that they can take the L on Saturday.
Yep.
You still thinking, Paul?
The way I look at this one, yeah, I both got AJ, right?
No, yeah, we both got AJ.
No. Yeah.
The way I look at this is, again, like you said, Benny, you can do whatever you want with New Day. They don't have to carry the belts.
Right.
They're in the
they
match.
Are 11-time tag team champions. They literally probably have the most reigns of any tag team in history.
Yeah.
They are solidified as Hall of Famers.
Yeah. They don't need the belts. The only times they get the belts because the belts have been lost. And the Street Profits are pretty much on that same level as well too. So I think this is a way to get AJ Styles to have the belts, maybe give the New Day a little bit of a break. You know, I agree. I think AJ and Omos is going to win this one. New Day has been winning everything so far for the last few weeks. Every single one-on-one tag or whatever it is against AJ. The only concern I have about that is if it's a way kind of to show almost that AJ is the weak link. So if they do lose, he comes to him and says, hey, we lost tonight and you've been losing the last few weeks. So I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. If it happens, I'm not changing my pick.
You're too early. You're too early.
I'm not changing my pick, but the thing is, why have AJ lose so many times?
Because you're gonna have it where AJ can't beat them on his own, and Omos is the one that's gonna get highlighted in this. This is all to highlight Omos. That's it. What you're talking about is like Money in the Bank, SummerSlam season. We're not there yet. That's all I'm saying. I don't disagree with you, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, but I'm just saying if we all in agreement, AJ and Styles are gonna win. But I'm just saying if I won't be surprised if they keep it on a New Day and do this thing now. It'll just be annoying because it's like you have AJ almost and do all this stuff for what? To break them up.
That's the point. Why? Doesn't make any sense.
But look again, they broke up the Hurt Business when they should have. The Riott Squad.
But again, broke up the Hurt Business because they want to highlight Bobby Lashley.
Right, no need to. You broke up the Iconics. You broke up the Heavy Machinery. So they've done breakups for no reasons, where it makes no sense.
But you've done breakups to establish tag teams coming from NXT. It's the same thing when independent talent goes to NXT and they change their whole gimmick and they change everything about them. That's all that is. They wouldn't do that now since they themselves put together Omos and AJ Styles. Like that has Vince written all over it because it's Diesel and Shawn Michaels.
I know, but Vince.
That's what I'm like. Again, you're pulling the trigger way too soon.
And so has Vince, but
he's not going to do it to AJ. Is what I'm telling you. He's not going to do it to AJ.
We'll see.
There's no way he does that to AJ.
I mean, like I said, my pick is AJ Styles and Omos, but if they break them up this weekend, it's gonna be annoying because it's like it just shows that he's pulling the trigger on a lot of stuff way too early. Is all I'm trying to say. So go on to the next match, which is another palate cleanser. This is the palate cleanser. At the moment, it's Bad Bunny and The Miz. And the reason why is it was supposed to be Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus The Miz and Johnny. But Johnny and Damian Priest both got nicked up. And I'm not sure if Johnny is healthy yet, but that's why they made it a one-on-one.
Oh, that's what that is?
Yeah. Damian, he got a little hurt, but it wasn't that bad. But apparently when Johnny got hurt the other week, not so long ago. His was a
Yeah.
lot more serious, so that's why they made it to a one-on-one. Yeah, because the whole point with the tag team was to have Bad Bunny there, and then Damian Priest do most of the work, and Bad Bunny in for the hot tag. But this is going to be interesting.
This to me is them saying, okay, Miz, you keep saying how you should have been world champion. You keep saying how you should have had this and you should have had that, and you put in your 10 years. Prove you can lead a match. Prove you can lead a match. Go ahead. Prove you can lead a match. And make it good. That's all this is to me. Prove you can lead a match. This one, honestly, though, choosing a winner, though, is tough. Because it doesn't make sense for Bad Bunny to have this whole program for him to lose. Doesn't make sense. But it also says a lot about Miz if you have Bad Bunny beat him clean.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to go with Bad Bunny, but I'm going to go with it being a dusty finish with Damian Priest getting involved.
As it should probably be.
Yeah.
Betty?
Real quick before I give my thing, I was actually looking because we were talking about Kofi and how it is that the New Day and everything were solidified as one of the greatest tag teams of all time. I was trying to see exactly how many title reigns that Kofi has had as compared to Edge, who I know has the most. Kofi has 22 championships compared to Edge's 31. So, and his career ain't nowhere near over. So, who, Kofi? He ain't going to win no time.
Yeah,
soon.
it's not that he's not going away anytime soon, but he's not.
He doesn't get the recognition.
He's not going to be a champion.
Oh, not a singles champion.
He might be.
So
He might become a singles champion, but he won't win the main titles.
Nah,
it'll be the
mid
mid card
title. He's going to be a singles champion again.
No, I'm just saying if he does win a singles title again, it'll be a mid card. It won't be the main.
I doubt it. But anyway, going to the match or whatever, I don't think there's any chance that Miz wins this match. I don't think it says anything bad about him if he takes the L here, because if you go back and look at celebrity involvement in the WWE, it is very, very, very unlikely that celebrity actually wins. And I mean going back to Lawrence Taylor.
You mean loses?
Yeah, loses. My bad. I'm talking about going back to Lawrence Taylor, going back to Mr. T and everything back in like the original, like the first WrestleMania and the second one when he faced off against Piper, all of that. So, like I said, I don't see them sitting up here having their investment, take a L, especially considering the fact that you can, after Bad Bunny's involvement is over, you can then spin it off into a feud straight up with Damian Priest, because Damian Priest got involved at some point, which is going to end up happening because John Morrison is still out there and he's going to get involved. So, like I said, this is Bad Bunny all the way. I don't think there is a shadow of a chance that Miz wins this match.
Paul,
you stuck, Paul?
Is he glitching again?
This
is into the ethos.
Nah, this is one of those where it's like I agree that
but he needs points.
I need points. I definitely need points. I agree. This is one of the matches like they hate. Miz, you need to lead. You need to show how you can lead on this one.
Yeah.
And they made it tough because I'm not sure if Bad Bunny's even taking any kind of training at all.
No,
yet.
he is.
He has to be.
PC.
He's got to be
at the PC.
He's got to be
at the PC since
he's got to be taking the training. But here's my question: who's training him? Is he working with the Miz?
He's training at the PC.
If I was the Miz, I'd be there training him, working on the match like
Oh
practicing
yeah,
the
I'll be
match.
scripting that
I'm
match out
sure
from
that
the
they've done.
beginning to the end.
There's literally been videos of Miz in the PC,
Yeah,
so I'm sure they're there at the same time. So
they gotta be because of the fact. Like if it was me, if I was the Miz, I'd be like, look, if I gotta lead this match, I'll lead it. But we're gonna be working on this. You know how it's gonna go and practice it. And the day of, we're gonna practice it. We're gonna do a run through or walk through or whatever it is to make sure we got it right and this and that.
Well,
because this
think about it like this. No, my bad to cut you off. Think about it like this. When Ronda Rousey came in, that match was scripted from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
And you had Triple H and Kurt Angle in that match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. What? So, hold on. Sorry. Raw is happening right now as we're filming. So apparently, it was Rhea and Asuka teaming up to go against.
Yep.
Tonight, yeah, of course, with the exact same thing. They did the exact same thing they did with Sasha and Bianca because they don't know how to do anything else with the women.
Yep.
Which is one of the reasons.
And I know the match is going to be short because they're literally going through the previous segment in full length while Rhea's music is still playing. This is going to be like
if you listen to the
match.
podcast, you really can't see me, but I'm like really frustrated right now. This is annoying. I'm gonna go off a tangent one day and just trash WWE about the whole false women's revolution because this is annoying, truly annoying. Such a disgrace to the women and the talent that they actually have right now, and what they do to these women. You get these women that are talented and they can actually wrestle. Some of them just as skilled as the men, and you give them more, if not more, and you give them a 1-2 minute match. What? You have a 3-hour show, 2-hour show, and the women get a 1 match for 2 minutes out of 2-3 hours.
Carmella called them out last week.
Yep. You know what's gonna start to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I digress. I'll do this another show.
I'm
going with Bad Bunny.
Now we have another announcement. We have another announcement for Saturday. Just got another match. Here we go. Yep. Tag team turmoil match. 4 women's tag teams. Winner of that match faces Nia and Shayna on Sunday.
I kind of figured they were going to do that anyway.
It was a matter of time of when. Weren't they talking about that during that? But they didn't know when. It was a conversation.
They just announced it. It just got dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Those four women that you saw last week on SmackDown.
I kind of figured that was going to happen.
4 teams, tag team turmoil. They throwing it back though. That's an OG match. I ain't heard of a tag team turmoil in a minute.
All right.
Hopefully they give them more than 2 seconds.
Bro, they're gonna get like 5 minutes. My junk's annoying.
We'll see.
All right, so we got to add that to the list now.
That's all right.
All right, so we got Bad Bunny. We all got Bad Bunny in this one, pretty much.
Yep.
All right, let's give this one a little time to season over here. Marinate. Thank you. And let's go to Bobby Lashley defending against Drew McIntyre.
There's no winning here.
No, there isn't.
That's the crappy part about this match.
This is the one that Benny said it is a trap one. You where do you go? Where do you go?
I 1,000,000% believe that this is a trap. I believe that the Hurt Business breaking up last week was a complete swerve, and I got a feeling that because they were put out of the match as the Hurt Business, gives them the opportunity to come in and interfere. I know that they were sitting up here on this whole thing talking about Drew getting his big win. I think that is the biggest possible mistake that they can make. And this is coming from a Drew McIntyre fan. All right. I have been on this Drew McIntyre train since he won since before the Royal Rumble in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say this, I'm saying this from a complete rational point of view. If they give McIntyre this win, you are going to turn the WWE universe against your guy. I'm going
They're
with
gonna do
Bobby
what they
Lashley.
did with Roman.
Exactly.
They're gonna do what they did with Roman. Yeah.
I'm going with Bobby Lashley. This is heart over head because my head is still telling me that WWE is going to do this. But I'm going with heart over head, and I'm going to pick Bobby Lashley because I want them to make sure that Drew does not turn into the second coming of Roman.
I'm gonna agree with that one. I'm gonna go with Bobby, even though if they go with Drew, at this point I'm just gonna laugh, and we might as well just start covering AEW because it's the beginning of the end. Because at that point, then Drew McIntyre then becomes Charlotte.
Yep.
And that's the last thing that they need right now. It really is. Unless they completely do a whole like Drew heel turn where he embraces the hate because he knows the hate is going to come. That I'd actually enjoy. But yeah, no, they can't. No, just no. You guys, no. Bobby. Because it's like if you were going to put the title on Bobby and you wanted, like, the only way to do it would have been to have him win it at Mania. The fact you had to win it before Mania, it's like, bro, you got to keep the title on them now. Like, you did it to yourself. You have to keep
this right here. This right here, and I'm sorry, I got to go off on a mini tangent. This is exactly why. This is exactly why. Which at Elimination Chamber, why I was so pissed off that they put the title on the Miz, because I knew where they were going with it. You were already setting up Miz versus Bad Bunny. So you knew that wasn't going to be the WWE Championship match. They were going to have to get that belt off of the Miz some way, somehow.
Quick.
So they were going to sit up here. They were going to put the belt on the Lashley, and they were going to screw around and put it into this situation where you were going to have Drew win the title at WrestleMania, get his WrestleMania moment, and all of this other nonsense. They're trying to force something onto the fans that the fans are going to start to reject. There was one way to do this, and that was to not have Drew drop the belt to Randy or have him drop it earlier and then have him win it back. Go through, if Miz cashed in or whatever, have him beat the Miz and then have Lashley be the build-up because he didn't win the Royal Rumble. Have him be the build-up at that point. You start building towards Lashley versus Drew at WrestleMania. You play into the fact that Lashley had a shot last year and he couldn't get it done, even with jumping Drew before the match started. Play into it. Have Drew get a big head like you started trying to build with Becky Lynch that last year, and you didn't play off of it and pull the trigger and have her drop the belt at that point. Have it be like that. You make it so that Drew starts to get a little big-headed because he didn't beat everybody that they didn't put in front of him, except for that one time he lost to Randy Orton or some bullshit. All right? But now, you done sat up here and you done put yourself into a corner because now you have, if you pay any attention to social media when it comes to Drew McIntyre, yeah, he still has his fans and everything like that, but you're starting to see detractors. You're starting to see people sit up there and they look at him and they're just like, I see Roman. I see 2015 Roman Reigns when they're sitting up here trying to force him down your throat, force him into the main event when he doesn't need that forcing. Let it be natural. Stop trying to book 52 different things in order to have one thing happen. You're shooting yourself in the foot. You take the title off of him just to put it back on him. Why? Then on top of that, you got the Bobby Lashley factor. Lashley, hottest thing on Raw. And that's not saying much because Raw is friggin', it's ridiculous at the moment.
And the Hurt Business too.
The Hurt Business has a faction. So you're doing all of this stuff right here just to give Drew a pop? Come on.
And he's not going to get the pop. That's the thing. He's not going to get the pop.
You're going to hear the boos.
No. That's the worst part.
And then Vince is going to be sitting in the back like it's Hell in a Cell 2019. And he's going to be like, oh my God, I think we messed up. Like they did with the Fiend and Seth Rollins. Anyway, tangent over. My apologies.
Nah, you're good, man. You're good.
I go on them
those are
4
all,
times an episode. So
those are all valid points. And that's a problem with Vince. Vince doesn't want any of the talent going over without him. You know, and he couldn't do anything with Daniel Bryan when he went over and he couldn't do anything with Kofi. He actually jumped on the whole Kofi Mania because it's like, oh, we'll get our first black man as champion. Again. Let's go.
Here we go again.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I prove people that I'm not this petty. No, Vince, you are petty. We all know you petty. You that petty man. Mm-hmm. The whole thing with Drew, and everybody was saying that Vince wanted him to win it at Mania again, just so he gets a pop. And again, repeating what Benny was saying.
If you're gonna do that, then don't do it against Lashley.
Yeah, like, I agree with Benny. If you were gonna do that,
don't do it against Lashley.
You're making Drew to look like Roman that people hated.
Right. You're gonna make him
because
the
target. You get to that point where Roman never loses. Why? What's the point of watching this? Again, Drew never loses. What's the point of watching it? Why did he lose to Randy? Because somebody that was watching the live when we were doing it, he said Randy Orton never loses 3 times in a row to the same person. And I was like, no, wait. And now I look back, I was like, damn, he was right. I remember think about that tidbit. But that was dumb. It's like, so you have Drew drop the belt just so Randy doesn't lose 3 in a row to one person, and then he wins it back. And for what?
I'm gonna be real with you. I think Drew won it back so fast because they forgot about Survivor Series.
It was just dumb because the fact it's like okay, leave Drew off without the title for a little bit.
Paul got frozen again.
Yep, he fell into the abyss.
Nah.
And here we go. Okay. They just posted the tag team turmoil. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So
you back, Paul?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm not sure what's going on with this thing. All right. So
it's Florida. I'm just gonna blame Florida.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what's going on is you do so much for Drew. Now you're gonna make the fans hate him because you're forcing him down everybody's throats.
Mm-hmm.
You did that with John Cena. You didn't learn. You did it again with Roman Reigns. You didn't learn. You're doing it with Drew McIntyre. When is he gonna learn? When is he gonna learn? You know. Now, Bobby, this run by Bobby has been a good run. With the Hurt Business MVP, golly, it's must watch. You have to watch that stuff. You had the Hurt Business coming in looking all clean with their suits, beating people up with their suits. Like, golly, I want that Taylor. I'm like whacking people off, and I'm like wearing a suit. It don't break nothing. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Man, listen,
that's some good material. And then Bobby and MVP go and beg Vince plead with him not to break up the Hurt Business.
That's the other thing. The fact that this has come out as public. I swear I think this is a swerve just because of that.
Yeah. And I'm just like, they pleaded not to break up the Hurt Business. He's like, no. He broke them up. He still broke them up. For what? What is Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander going to do now? Because they weren't doing anything before this. Shelton Benjamin was in the back and catering, hanging out with Andrade and everybody else, not doing nothing. We kept asking, where was he at? MVP was like, let's go. I got you. Cedric was putting on some matches. He was probably on main event, but he wasn't doing anything.
Nah, he was teaming with Ricochet and getting beat.
And Apollo. And you got MVP. He grabs Bobby. Then he's like, let me grab these 2 guys. One that's in catering, not doing anything. The other one that's on main event and job with everybody else. Pop them up. MVP was MVP. The Hurt Business was the hottest thing that WWE had. The hottest thing. And what does Vince do? I'll break this group up. Why? Because I feel like it. There was no need to do that. No need. You could have still kept going with the Hurt Business for like the rest of the year, and nobody would have said nothing. And you could have added Naomi. The rumor was they wanted Naomi. You could have added Naomi, and you could have started it. You could have set it up for a feud for Survivor Series. The Hurt Business versus Roman Reigns and the tribe, the tribal chief, whatever he wants to call it, because of Naomi. Like there's so much that you can have, but they don't think because they're just stuck. You could have had like a draft, kept those two separate still, but because of the draft, everybody has to get together to sit in the same room. You could have Jay, like, or Jimmy, whoever Naomi's husband, I can't remember. Be like,
Jimmy.
oh, Jimmy. Be like, oh, you need to come over here and come with us, your family's and that. And she'd be like, nope, I went to her business. You're my husband, all, but this is work. This is a business.
This is my family.
Yeah. And you know what kind of problems they're gonna cause? Like story-wise, you can do.
Mm-hmm.
If they take this title off of Bobby, I'm gonna be pissed. And the worst thing is, since Bobby has won this, he didn't defend it on Fastlane. He had matches on Raw. That's it. He hasn't defended. So this is pretty much his first pay-per-view defense.
Mm-hmm.
And you mean to tell me you're gonna have him drop it because you want Drew McIntyre to get a pop? Look, no offense to Drew McIntyre, I like Drew, but because he didn't get a pop last year because of the pandemic, unfortunately, what happened, what started everything, he didn't get the pop he deserved. Now you want to sacrifice Bobby's run with the title for Drew and his pop? I'm sorry. You can't. I'm in agreement. Bobby should win this. Bobby needs to win this. If he doesn't win this, I'm gonna be pissed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be pissed. So, yeah, Bobby. But it just had to get some stuff off my chest because this is annoying. Everything that's been going on, and how they've been going around her business and everything, and what they've done with Drew. And the worst thing is Drew seems like he's a nice guy. He knows what he's doing in the ring, but they're overhandling him.
You know, you got a guy who fits Vince's mold of what a superstar is supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Big dude. He's tall. He's built, but he's not huge.
Right.
And I'm secure enough in my masculinity to say, dude is a good-looking guy. So he can fit that demographic. So, on top of the fact, if you look at his finisher, the guy has what could potentially become the next Sweet Chin Music. Something that can literally come at any point.
And the funny thing, it was by accident, too.
Right. Like, you can sit up there. I think the only move in WWE right now that has a potential to get over that one as far as like being the next Sweet Chin Music is the Black Mass, and you're probably gonna never see that again.
Not WWE.
Right. But you sit up there and you force him into that position, you turn the people against him, nobody's gonna want to see it. He starts trying to do that 3-2-1 mess again, just like HBK tuning up the band. It's not gonna go over the same way. To be completely honest with you, like I said, love him to death. He's been out there doing his thing. Matches my man's had with Sheamus, I'm sitting up there on the edge of my seat every single time I see them out there. I don't care. I said, put them on every single card fighting each other from now until the heat death of the universe. I will watch them. But if that's not the case, what needs to happen after WrestleMania, some way, somehow, they need to take Drew off TV just for a spell. Give people a chance to cool off on him.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, he got some heat on him, and it's not good heat. Take him off, let him cool down a little bit, give Lashley some opportunity to go against some other baby faces that you can possibly put in his way or whatever. Hell, have Kofi say he wants to get the championship back at some point or whatever. Even if it is what it is. There's a guy to put in the way. The former champion out there. But I don't even care at that point if Kofi gets destroyed. All right. But like I said, you got to do something in order to keep Drew from turning into the target of everybody's ire.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Because the fact is that he's okay. So when Roman had the ire, it was easy to do it because there was a lot of issues with him. Not only was he being forced, but he was still a little green. Promos weren't all that great and all that stuff. So there was a lot to go after him. You know what I mean? With Drew, it's like there's not really that much. His promos are always good. He puts on heck of a matches, but it's like, bro, come on, let me get a break. You can't. You're a big doing all this shit. Come on, let's get a break. Give me a break. You mean tell me Bobby can't beat you? You mean tell me this guy can't beat you? Like, come on. You know, like Sheamus, to me, Sheamus should have won at least one of those matches.
Mm-hmm.
Let it be unsanctioned match. That way, if Drew lost, he ain't lose the belt. He just lost an unsanctioned match. You know? But then you got Sheamus that beat him. Like, so you like, yo, he's beatable. He's beatable. But yeah.
Hell, one of the matches ended in a draw. Why didn't they just have him win that one?
And
then you have a reason to have that match at Fastlane.
Right. But it's no. He just let Drew beat Sheamus. And that's the other thing. Sheamus is good. You can. It's not like he's a punk. He's not a jobber. So he let him win. Sheamus has won a bunch of titles. This isn't like a guy that just won a intercontinental belt here and there, or U.S. title here and a couple tag team titles. He's won his fair share of major titles too. I digress.
Yeah. Let's move it on because Jay's getting bored.
Let's go on to
what do I and Bobby Lashley have in common that Vince never gets behind?
Mm-hmm.
Vince is what? Proud of his Irish heritage, right? Drew is what? Scottish,
but this is close enough. Hey,
he got
Vince's sword.
We can get demonetized or whatever for this, but let's keep it a buck. Like, y'all doing all that talking and y'all dancing around the one topic.
It's not even so much dancing around. It's just a matter of him. We know where he stands.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, him and Orange Man is buddy.
Uh-huh.
We know where he stands. We know why Bobby would drop the title. Do I think Bobby's going to drop the title? No, because it makes the product look bad. But would I be surprised? No.
No, absolutely not.
Not at all.
Any of us are going to be surprised.
Long hair, pretty eyes, full goatee, big, masculine, brolic-looking Scottish dude. You think Vince don't want that as a face of his company? Why do you think he was the chosen one back in the 2000s? Come on, man.
He didn't have the beard, though, man. It wasn't complete back then.
He had no
like a baby face.
He had a baby face back, like complete baby face back then.
Yeah, you look like a completely different person now.
The sad part about this is it has nothing to do with Drew at all.
No,
It's the same thing with the Ashley argument, the Ashley versus Charlotte thing. Ain't nobody got beef with Ashley.
No,
everybody got beef with Charlotte.
That's another topic. I'm not even gonna touch. I'm not
again. Just went on. MVP just got yoked up by Cedric and Sheldon. Now Bobby's all hulking mad and whatever. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time we had a successful black group? Nation of Domination. Nation of Domination was only around to put The Rock over. Hurt Business was only around to put Bobby over. Now they're gonna try to make it look like Bobby can't win without the
Nation Domination was put together before The Rock. He was the Rock was put in there.
Their push. The Rock
was put in there. The Rock was put in there because of the fact that what's it called? What's this guy's name? Ahmed Johnson wasn't working out. And because of the fact that they couldn't do anything with The Rock because the people hated him. He wasn't getting through like they wanted him. So they're like, you know what, let's make him a heel. They made him a heel, and then boom, it just took off. And then
but again,
he just took a life of his own.
Why? They took off why?
Because The Rock just took a life of his own. Because he was able to be hated.
When he left, what happened to the nation?
Well,
wait.
I think he kind of turned face while the nation was still heel, and then they kind of kicked him out, but then they disappeared.
But I mean, again, what happened to the nation?
They broke up and disappeared.
Got over. That's Vince's MO when it comes to men that look like Bobby. Nah, you can't have a collective like that. That's too strong for too long.
And it's sad, man. It's sad.
The crazy thing about it
is the Hurt Business, being a bunch of black guys put together or whatever, that's something that I don't think was actually the purpose behind the group, if you like kayfabe wise. their whole thing, kayfabe wise, was literally just a bunch of dudes or whatever that wanted better, that deserved better, that were better than what they were actually being portrayed as. An MVP leading them and showing them, classing them up, and then them becoming just an absolute force.
So the OG, basically, they were the old guy version of Retribution that worked out. The less steampunk version, the 80s pimp version, like whatever way you want to spin this, there's a version of Retribution that worked out. Mm-hmm. But again, let's keep it real. Vince don't mess with Wakanda. Vince don't mess with Wakanda. That's just what it is.
Either way, shout out to MVP for being the MVP.
Yeah.
Word too. Now.
The real MVP.
Now, back to the match that I actually want to talk about. The Tag Team Turmoil Women's Championship qualifying match that I know was going to be 7 minutes long.
Yep.
4 different groups of women.
Yep.
It's so bad. All you can do is laugh.
It's just annoying, though.
That being said,
now they got Billie Kay in the middle of all 8 women just there with her resume.
Which is weird because Carmella took her resume the other day. So Carmella in the tag team now.
Bro. Why did you slow the Iconics? What was the point of
put them back
the
together? Just put the Iconics back together. Please.
There was no point. And then you go, let me go with this one too. You break up Heavy Machinery. You break them up, and then you don't follow up on that at all. So Otis doesn't get his revenge on Tucker for betraying him. And then now you put Otis back in the tag team.
Yep.
As a heel.
As a
heel.
So what was the point of doing everything?
I don't know. All I do know, eventually that's going to lead to Otis realizing that he's getting used or whatever, and him beating the living hell out of Chad Gable.
All I'm going to say, my heart, I want the Riott Squad to win this so bad.
They're not going to win it, though.
But what I know is that it's probably going to be Tamina and Natalya.
God damn it, Jay.
Asshole.
And they're probably going to go on to WrestleMania, and they're probably going to get the win.
Yep.
Because Vince is gonna try to pay off what's her face, Natalya, for being such a good worker, and Tamina for always being there where he needs them to. And this is going to be their little comeuppance.
Not only that, this is going to be Tamina's first championship.
Which
that's right.
It's absurdity, but also makes sense because every time she got pushed, she got hurt.
Yep.
So
yeah.
So I'm going with Natalya and Tamina for this one.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to agree, and I'm even going to go as far as to say Ruby Riott is the one that takes the fall.
Come on, stop doing my homegirl like that, bro. I'm not going
at her.
You stay.
I'm not going at her.
Like, yo, stop coming at Ruby, bro.
I'm not going at her.
Stop that.
I'm saying that's what they think of them for whatever reason.
Stop that.
Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan need to go beat up Kaden Carter and what's the name? Not Kaden Carter. Ember Moon and Shotzi Black.
That's facts though. That's facts though.
But yeah, unfortunately,
but you need to stop coming at my team though. You need to stop coming at my team though. It's highly disrespectful.
I love him. It's not,
man.
I love him.
I'm really starting to take offense to this right now, bro.
I love him. It's just that's how it is, man. They're not going to give him what we want.
It's just the way it crumbles, man. What you want? What you want, man?
I'll go as far as to say there's one person that's willing to take the fall more than them right now that's in this match. Dana Brooke. You forget Dana Brooke's in this match?
She can take it.
Yeah.
I just feel like because listen, when was the last time How many times in the last 2 months have Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose been on TV versus the Riott Squad?
Neither one of them has been on TV. Period.
Yeah, they have.
Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose
losing.
has been on TV.
They keep losing to Nia Jax and Shayna
sooner
Baszler.
than Ruby Riott has with Liv
That's
Morgan.
what the deal is. They keep losing to Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
You know what? Actually, I'm gonna change my pick. I'm changing my pick. Right? I'm going with Lana and Naomi.
Okay.
Lana and Naomi. Wanna why? Because they still ain't pay off Lana and the Nia Jax thing. Still ain't paid that off yet.
You put in a lot of confidence in that continuity that we say doesn't exist in the main roster.
True, but also there's also this underbelly of like, yo, bro, we need to give Naomi her comeuppance too. It makes sense.
She needs it, yeah, but I don't think she's gonna get it. Okay. I'm gonna stick with Natalya and Tamina just because of the fact that you have the potential for the optics of Tamina versus Nia Jax at night 2 of WrestleMania.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just doing it for the sake of being different, so that we have different picks. So this is a lot more compelling. I'm gonna go with Lana and Naomi.
What you got, Paul?
You don't have no dipping sauce?
It's not gonna be Dana Brooke and Ruby Riott. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. It's not gonna be them two. It's not gonna be Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan. I'm stuck. I want to lean towards Natalya and Tamina because of the talk smack that I saw last week.
Mm-hmm.
Jay made some points about them trying to pay off the Lana thing, but I have to lean myself to what we always say. There is no continuity in the WWE main roster. Vince doesn't know what that word means. So with that being said, I'm going with Natalya and Tamina. They might pay off. They might pay off the whole, like Benny was saying, Tamina and Nia Jax, because Tamina didn't mention because either Tamina and Natalya, one of them mentioned on Talk Smack, it don't matter about being family no more. They talked about it already.
Of course, then it's going to be Tamina.
So, yeah, I think it's going to be them too, and we'll get on that one on the next show. And now for the main event. Standing at a soaking wet of 80 pounds. Now let me stop before we get fired.
Don't clap for the skinny people, man. We out here, bro.
We
out here. Stop playing with us.
We
out here.
We got Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair, and this should be a heck of a match. I hope they don't put them down. I'm gonna look at the time this match starts and how much time they have left. I'll be pissed if they don't give them at least 15 minutes. Pissed.
Oh no, they're getting at least 20, 25.
They better. This is a main event. It should go for a good long time. And these two, I feel, will put up a doozy of a main event.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we should have had between Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch, but Vince, whatever, they wanted to throw Charlotte in there.
Because they knew Ronda Rousey couldn't hang with Becky Lynch.
Well, there was that in the fact that that Charlotte had been promised. She had been promised the main event of Mania. I know.
Yeah.
She had been promised the first main event of Mania. So, like, honestly, at this point, I don't care anymore. Like, it is what it is.
But the fact that it's not just two women main eventing this, but it's two sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Main eventing this.
Like I said, if you're gonna screw one black man, at least the sisters they come up with.
Yeah. This is a tough one to call, man. This is another tough one to call.
Nah.
It's a tough one to call.
No, it's not. There's
no.
answer to who should win this
I know where you're going, Jay. I know where you're going, Jay. I might just type it in.
Let me interrupt.
You already know who I'm picking, so I'm not even gonna have to say it. You already know where I'm going with this.
Let me interrupt you real quick, Jay.
Nah.
Let me interrupt you. Because you said there's only one answer, or this isn't hard. It's not that it isn't hard, it's that it shouldn't be hard.
It's too smart, and they just stupid. I get it. I understand.
Remember who we're talking about.
Exactly.
And remember what happened last year.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say I'm scared.
Mm-hmm. Ain't no way you built this up like this. This feels like Shinsuke versus AJ to me, man.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. I am a little worried about this. And by a little worried, I mean a lot worried.
This is Shinsuke versus AJ all over again.
Yeah. I'm a little worried, like I said, and by a little worried, I mean I'm a lot worried by this because I'm scared they're gonna be like, all right, Bianca, you're good, you're hot, you got all this other stuff, but you still haven't paid your dues. The other thing is, if you look at Sasha Banks' WrestleMania record, she has never won. So I don't know if it'll be like, all right, let's give Sasha a win here. I don't want them to do that because of the fact that what you're sacrificing in that case. But look who we're talking about. That being said, I'm still taking Bianca, and I am hoping to God that I'm right. That they just pull the trigger on this and let it be.
Bro, she about to go shoot another season of Mandalorian. She's about to go shoot another season of Mandalorian. Bing, bang, boom. She about to go to Hollywood. Stop this. Stop this foolishness. Stop this. She probably gonna be in the Heights movie. Stop this.
Ask yourself what Vince would say to that. What better way than to have the women's champion on your show, in your movie? Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. It's just stupid.
I know it's stupid. I'm just saying.
Stupid. I can honestly see this being one of those where it's like, oh no, wait. We'll just give her the rematch on Monday and she'll win the title on Monday.
No.
So we fixed her. Like, I could dead see it being one of those situations.
I could see it too. And that's the worst part because of the fact then you take away the moment, the WrestleMania moment Bianca could have if you did it for Bianca.
Mm-hmm. And then they're going to be worried about Bianca getting her WrestleMania pop for the next year.
Yeah. And that's look, I think we're all in agreement. Bianca Belair should win this. It should be easy. Mm-hmm. And it sucks because, like Benny said, Sasha hasn't won a WrestleMania yet match. And her having a title. Let's remember too, she had a streak where when she defended the title on pay-per-view, she would never win. She couldn't defend it. She finally broke that. Now she's defending a title again. Now the question is, and she's never won in WrestleMania. So she's gonna break another streak, and is she gonna win at Mania? So,
well, I'll put it this way: you notice that they haven't mentioned it, and usually if they don't mention it, they don't care.
It doesn't matter yet.
No, because they still have to do the pre-show. They might mention on a pre-show because pre-show they tend to mention a lot more stuff than the lead-up. Plus, this lead-up has been horrible. Like I said, they created.
See, this is what happens when you talk crazy. You get lost in the void. This is what happens when you talk crazy. This is what I'm saying.
It is crazy though, man. If you look at it, like I literally just pulled it up because I didn't remember how long it had been. Sasha Banks is 0-5.
Yeah, and it's the thing is, I shared you guys the preview they had for this match, and I was like, okay, that's great. And I'm like, where was that one match where they had when they pushed Bianca into Sasha? Oh wait, they're gonna do that because that was a stupid thing they did. The way they did that, and this whole lead up to this match has been horrible. Mm-hmm. We're friends. Let's find out who's better. Let's do this, and now they don't like each other. Why couldn't he do that before? But then again, they did like they're doing now, or they just did before. They had to go against the tag team champion. They put them into a tag team together. For what? That's a rewritten script that they do all over again. They did it again tonight. They put Riott and Asuka in a tag team match against the tag team champions for both of them to lose. I don't even know who took the pin or how they lost.
Probably Oscar.
I don't know. But it's annoying because it's the same thing they're doing all over again every time. It doesn't change. Why? Because of Vince. The fans are gonna love this. They're gonna be fine. Copy and paste. Control C, Control V.
And it's sad because it's the same thing that happens with the women over and over again. Now, granted, it's a little more glaring with the women because of the fact that it's like their roster size is smaller. But even then, like, that should make it easier to book for them because you don't have to book for that many people. You don't have to book for that many titles. There's three belts compared to the men who you got like 7. What is going on?
I don't know. That's a good question. But until somebody else takes control, it's not going to change. And they can say Bruce Pritchard, but Bruce Pritchard does what Vince does once. So pretty much we have an agreement to almost everything except for the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, the Braun Strowman Shane McMahon, and the women's tag team Turmoil. Of course, I majority am the one at odds. Trying to get my points.
I was going to say, Paul, next time you need to change your name to I Need Points, bro.
I need a bucket.
So with that, we're going to end night 1 and come back for night 2. Thank you for joining us. This is a Heel Heat WrestleMania preview, night 1. Talk to you soon.